I'm sorry. Gotta love life. Gotta love life. Everything's smoldering. Slowly. Suffer. Alright. Let's see what's going on. What do we got here?
Were captured in eastern Ukraine while fighting for Russia are talking a lot more now, and their stories sound somewhat familiar. Ukraine identified the two men as Wang Guangjun and Zhang Renbo. The two say they were misled into joining Russia's ranks, claiming they were promised good
Apparently they
pay
were from
and safe
they're
work,
Chinese.
but instead found themselves on the front lines of the war. It's a similar story to what many others fighting for Russia reported when captured by Ukraine. The two men spoke at a government-run press conference in Kyiv, saying they were deceived by online ads and forced into harsh combat conditions. Wang said he lost his job during the pandemic and responded to a recruitment post online. Zhang said he initially traveled to Russia for construction work, only to be enlisted in the army later. Both said they had no idea they'd be sent into battle, and both deny any connection to the Chinese government. They described Russia's military as poorly organized and weaker than advertised, saying they had little food or water, no medical care, and faced racist abuse from commanders. Wang said his own embassy offered no help when he tried to reach out. Their comments follow earlier claims by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who said intelligence shows at least 150 Chinese nationals have joined Russian forces. China says it's verifying the identities of the two men captured, but denies
what was that last
widespread
reported, like
involvement.
last week or something
U.S.
like that,
officials
2 weeks
have
ago?
not confirmed the numbers either. Let's say if China is allowing citizens to fight for
No,
Russia,
that was the first time
it would
was
represent
reported.
a serious escalation. For now, Ukraine continues calling attention to foreign fighters, while the captured men are warning others not to follow their path. For more of our unbiased, straight fact reporting, download the Straight Arrow News app today.
Well, there you go. Apparently. Don't ask me, bitch! Let's see what we got here.
For the first time in months,
is testing new drone
drones are back on the public radar
technology.
and hovering over New Jersey skies. As the FAA studies drone detection systems on the Jersey Shore, a project the government says it launched years ago at airports around the country, but now is expanding to off-airport locations like this ferry terminal to ensure safety between an increasing number of drones and aircraft. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says it's all about national security.
The FAA is doing this to ensure we can properly detect drones in our airspace and make sure they don't interfere with aircraft navigation systems.
The FAA says the work has no direct connection to the swarm of drone sightings that recently prompted national hysteria.
So that's the airplane, but look at that.
When they blanketed the skies from Maryland to New Jersey.
There's a lot of panic in the area,
causing consternation at
Chinese
diners.
nationals.
Do you get the impression the federal government knows way more than what they're revealing to people? And frustration from lawmakers. Then, in the first days of the Trump administration, this revelation.
The drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons.
With this off-airport testing, the FAA says it's using about 100 of these off-the-shelf drones, in addition to a couple of larger drones, too. Now, it's only taking place during daylight and weekday hours, with all the communities involved being alerted. As for why the off-airport testing, the FAA says that's to make sure the drones don't impact law enforcement and medevac services. More testing will be held at sites in New Mexico, North Dakota, and Mississippi later this year. Sam Brock, NBC News, Maplewood, New Jersey.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
FAA is getting a little ballsy now. Was major drug bust in Georgia.
His
Uh-oh,
office today
Georgia.
announced a major drug bust here in Georgia. They say
Yo,
potentially saved
Wes,
millions of lives.
good
Federal
Jackie
authorities
Chan,
also
what you
announced two
want?
multi-million-dollar rewards for drug
What you
kingpins
want,
they
brother?
believe have orchestrated drug trafficking and money laundering in our state
you
and across the
doing here?
country. Fox 5's Alexa Liaco is live in downtown with how agents uncovered,
Dumpster.
Alexa, this multi-million-dollar operation.
Yeah, this operation going on for at least the last year, funneling millions of dollars, they say, into Mexico. And federal authorities today unsealed two separate indictments detailing charges for drug trafficking and money laundering against a group of people. 5 of those people were arrested this morning in Norcross.
If you traffic fentanyl, methamphetamine, other illicit and dangerous drugs, or launder drug proceeds, or work with the cartels, we will hold you accountable.
Agents from multiple law enforcement agencies gathered to announce a huge bust they hope will keep deadly drugs
Damn, that's a
off the
lot of
streets
drugs
here
to
in
kill
Georgia.
people.
DEA and law enforcement uncovered a scheme involving drug traffickers delivering bulk currency from drug sales to a middleman in Norcross. The middleman then allegedly delivered the drug proceeds to defendants Sandra Chalil and her daughter Karina Perez, who then allegedly laundered the proceeds as directed by a Mexico-based trafficker.
Agents say the
Mexico.
group laundered drug
Mexico.
trafficking money from their money
Based,
services business.
Coyote.
They would do it under a certain threshold to avoid filings, right, to the IRS. And so they would just bring, a lot of people would bring in small
Viva la
amounts,
Mexico,
small amounts
right?
of bulk currency to the business.
This funneled millions of dollars back to Mexico within the last year. Today, that business was busted, allowing agents to seize enough drugs to kill more than 23 million
Los
Americans.
Narcatos.
In the past 24 hours, DEA and our partners have seized over 100 pounds of fentanyl, $300,000 of suspected drug proceeds, guns, and made 22 arrests.
La
11 of which
Narcitos.
are illegal criminals.
The second indictment charges 2 brothers with money laundering and other drug trafficking offenses, offering a total
Yum,
of $8 million in
It's
reward
Viva
money for
Mexico,
information
not
leading to
La
their
Mexico,
arrest. But agents
pendejo.
do believe the 2 brothers are now in Mexico.
Ah, God.
Thanks to this joint operation, these financial networks and the leadership structures are now disrupted.
So what will come next? Those 5 people who were arrested this morning in Norcross will now have to go through a trial process after that grand jury delivered that indictment earlier this month. And agents here said today they do expect to have more drug busts like this happening because all those cartel operations are now designated as terrorist organizations. Live in downtown Atlanta, Alexa Liaco, Fox 5 News.
Don't
Alexa,
test me,
thanks.
Bix.
Some Georgia State.
Don't test me. Alright, well, there you go. Drug bust. They're from the Coyotes. Did you see autism rate?
A new report released today by the CDC shows the number of autism diagnoses among American children are increasing. The report
Apparently,
says 1 in 31
JFK
children under the
Jr.
age of
was trying
8
to
were
look
diagnosed
into
to be
this
on the spectrum in 2022. That's compared to 1 in 36 in 2020. Medical experts previously
Do you
told
have
ABC News the
autism,
increase is
sir?
largely due
Are
to
you-
better
are you
awareness
on the
and more
spectrum?
access
What's
to
wrong with
screening
you?
and services.
Get yourself
Experts
checked out.
also say the definition of what classifies as autism
I'm
has
kidding.
broadened.
Georgia State student protests immigration crackdowns. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Students and
The
activists staged
deportation.
a rally on campus today.
They are protesting the Trump administration's campaign to pull visas for international students who
Fuera.
participated
Fuera.
in protest or other demonstrations on campus. Fox 5's Kevin Stewart on the story. Kevin joins us now live from the GSU campus. Kevin?
I wonder what's the term
Well,
for
Georgia State
deportation
is not one
in
of the
French.
colleges that's released numbers of how many students have been impacted, if any, by the immigration crackdown. But that certainly does not mean students here are not paying very close attention to what's going on.
Well, there is a
This crowd isn't big, but it is loud. Trying to
the
drive
more
home
common way
point.
to express this in French would be using
Activists with the Party of
word,
Socialism and Liberation joined forces with Georgia State University students protesting the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
The whole thing just seems fishy and weird.
An initiative that's led to the revocation of student visas of some international students, some for protesting the war in Gaza, others for traffic violations.
If this can happen to other students with no warning or due process, and if there's a government that's willing to do that, I don't see why they wouldn't start doing that to U.S. students.
Chuck Cook represents 17 international students, including 7 from Georgia, who filed suit against ICE, Homeland Security, and the U.S. Attorney General. Students, he says, who were arrested for what Cook describes as minor crimes.
All of them have been found innocent. Not just not guilty. We shouldn't have brought these charges.
The suit alleges the revocation of student visas without due process is unlawful.
Why would you do that?
It wants due process. It wants the students back in class.
No,
Cook
dude.
firmly believes people would see what's happening differently if these were Americans studying abroad.
Their son they sent to Germany who was arrested at Oktoberfest for public drunkenness. An unknown thing among college students in America. They said, now you're being deported for this. Wait a second. I mean, he was just a college student. I mean, that's the kind of things we're talking about here.
But the Trump administration has a very different view of this issue.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Expect you to go to class and
La
study,
migra
but
or
if you come here to
afuera
like vandalize
is
a
better.
library, take over a campus, and do all kinds of crazy
It's not the
things,
same. I'm just gonna use the fucking Spanish way.
If somebody is coming here
It's better.
to study, they're not only here to study, but they're also here to actually live their life. Every policy of this country is going to impact them equally.
Now, as for that lawsuit, I'm told expect more plaintiffs to be added, probably close to 100 more. Reporting live from downtown Atlanta, Kevin Stewart, Fox 5 News.
Right, certainly not the end of this. Kevin, we'll keep watching it. Thanks so much.
Get fucked. Oh, what's this? Thieves tunnel into Los Angeles jewelry store. Uh-oh. Man, it's like the New York tunnels with the I still don't understand why they made those tunnels.
Thieves tunneled into a jewelry store. A large hole found in
fucking
the back
tunnels for
office.
some reason.
Likely took weeks to dig out, according to the owners of
that
Love
probably
Jewels,
took a
a
while.
family-owned shop in downtown Los Angeles.
They probably went in there every night, slowly dug it until there was enough room for them to get in.
The building next door is an abandoned theater and a vacant shop.
There's always homeless going in there. Anyone was able to go in.
The shop owner and his family still shaken up and don't want to be shown on camera after they say millions of dollars in cash and merchandise were stolen.
Upwards to 20 million was taken from us. And that's everything. In the gold business, you reinvest everything. So all our money was what was in the safe.
Police not confirming that number, but they are investigating. The break-in happened around 10 o'clock Sunday night.
They were able to disable the cameras, disable the alarm, and they were able to get in both the safes. They probably had about 5-6 hours in here.
The safe was cut into. The owners of Love Jewels believe this was the work of professionals.
Just drilling that hole in the safe right there probably took them 3 hours.
And this is certainly not the first time criminals have crawled their way
Took
into
them
stores
3
in
hours
this
to
area.
drill into
Over a
that
single
safe.
night, I lost over $1.2 million.
2 blocks away, another jewelry shop owner
Damn,
says
a lot of
thieves
jewelry
tunneled their
shops
way
getting hit
into
up,
his
eh?
store just last year.
We need more protection. This is something that it could happen to anyone, and I don't feel safe.
Now, other store owners in downtown's jewelry district,
I am very nervous,
wondering if they will be next.
Very
Maybe we
nervous.
close
Very,
the store
very
because
nervous.
This is not their way.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
You need to get the cheeky breakies. And you have to divide their cheese. Divide my cheese.
Peggy 16.
Sorry. All right, these are all video game stuff, so we'll do that later. What do we got here?
We're going to do something? Yeah, come to the microphone, please, sir. Step right up there. We go. Thank you.
Mr. Homan.
Roosevelt Hotel is not. It's
Mr. Homan.
It's on the table.
We got the border czar. Oh shit! The big man himself.
You're the immigration expert here. The president is now floating this idea.
Families get deported together.
Prison in El Salvador. Do you believe that would be legal?
You know, someone mentioned that to me this morning. I haven't yet talked to the president. I just got back in town yesterday, so I haven't had that conversation. What the conversation was about, where it comes from. But, so I'm not going to comment on it until I speak to the president directly.
But you know, off the top of your head,
It makes me happy.
you have obviously worked in immigration under President Obama.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Again, I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I said, I mentioned this morning. I don't know the context of the question was. I don't know the context of what response or what he meant by response. I'd be opining on something I really don't have the information on. I'll get briefed on it and I'll respond to you later about it, but I'm just unfamiliar with it.
Mr. Homan, does the administration expect that those migrants that have been sent to that prison in El Salvador will remain there?
You mean the terrorists that were removed?
Will they remain in that prison in El Salvador for the rest of their lives?
This administration will obey court orders, unlike the last administration. But if you ask me if I'm in favor of returning terrorists to the United States that are gang members that have murdered and raped young women in this country, no, I'm not in favor of that at all.
Mr. Homan, increased border apprehensions by 95% since last March. Can you describe maybe some of the success behind these numbers?
Because I worked for the greatest president of my lifetime, Donald Trump. Trump 45 is successful, unprecedented. And we're even doing better this time. President Trump, I give him all the credit because he put executive actions in place day one. He re-implemented the policies that we proved were effective. Right now, as we speak today, because of President Trump, the men and women of ICE and the men and women of the Border Patrol who stand on that line every day, today we have the most secure border in the history of this nation. No one can argue. The data's clear on that. I started in 1984. I've never seen the numbers this low. So again, the most secure border in the history of this nation, President Trump was able to do that in a matter of weeks, something that Biden administration didn't do in 4 years. Either wouldn't or couldn't, but we proved it didn't need legislation, didn't need all this other stuff that the last administration talked about. We needed a strong president who took America first and cared about American safety and securing that border. Securing the border at this level means we have a lot stronger national security because of the border.
Mr. Homan,
there are laws.
Securing the border. You heard the borders are. And we deport families together.
I think they should be prosecuted
to El Salvador.
Absolutely. And hold tight on that one. Because it's coming. It's coming. I've been clear on that since day one. The sanctuary cities can sit by and watch their communities get ravaged by illegal aliens. They can watch young women get raped and murdered. Trump administration is not going to stand for that. So look, they can stand by and watch. And the Trump administration will secure their communities. The Trump administration will drive down illegal and crime in this country. If they don't do it, we'll do it for them. But they can't. They can sit aside and watch, but they can't cross that line. When they cross the line of harboring concealment, that's a felony. And we got Pam Bondi now who won't hesitate to take action. They can't impede in our enforcement efforts to make this country safe again. That's a felony. So President Trump's got his cabinet in place now. We got a strong AG. We got a strong Secretary of Homeland Security. We got a great group here. We got Steve Miller, one of the most brilliant men I ever worked with when it comes to border security and interior enforcement. You're going to see a lot of things happen in the next few months that people should expect. Many don't, but watch what comes in their future.
Mr. Homan,
you got Democrats that are headed down to El Salvador. What's your message to them?
We're not going to change anything. We remove terrorists in this country. They're where they should be, and they want to knock it out.
Yeah, remove them terrorists. Get them the fuck out.
The Maryland illegal alien, not a father. Maryland illegal alien was arrested in the country illegally, arrested for murder, and released to the public. And it took ICE to go find
Yeah, and they're in the hands of El Salvador now. So now they're El Salvadorans, right?
In Maryland, and go to these sanctuary cities. I don't care what.
Yeah, all these sanctuary cities have some
Democrat,
interesting
and we also
characters.
want
to see.
secure communities. We also want public
I mean, you see
safety.
the crime going around fucking daily. It's like, come on.
I can't believe there's any Democrat politician does not want public safety threats out of the community. Their number one responsibility is protection of the communities. But they'd rather go to El Salvador than fix the problem we just talked about in Maryland, fix the problem of Boston, fix the problem that just happened in Washington State. 2 illegal aliens tortured a woman, left her for dead by drilling on her to give her her money, access to ATM stuff. But they're going to go to El Salvador. Makes zero sense, and that just shows how out of touch of reality the Democratic Party is.
Mr. Homan, the deadline for Real ID is coming up next month.
And get deported. Get deported.
It is.
Hold up on that one. Hold up on that one.
Okay.
Hold up on that one. Hold up on that one. Hold up on that one. Okay. Sorry.
On the Supreme Court justices being terrorized, something's got to change here.
Yeah, there was this video that I know you saw last week where Senator Schumer was getting followed into an elevator in D.C., and the person who was following was asking for a comment on what's happening at all these Tesla dealerships.
Yeah.
And he was ignoring the question over and over again. He
Ignored
gets in the
it.
elevator, he turns
Straight
around,
up.
and he goes after Elon Musk. That's the moment for leadership.
Yeah.
That's when you turn and you send that message to people who need to hear that it's important to stand down. It's not okay to be vandalizing people's private property. There are people who follow Senator
none
Schumer.
of these people said anything. Like Pelosi didn't say
Believe it or not.
anything.
And in
I think
that moment,
Schumer didn't say
they
anything.
want to hear what is, in fact, morally good.
Okay, the
No.
even the purple black-haired lady didn't
is
fucking
assassinating somebody who is in
old
business, who has a
fucking
wife,
bat
as you
didn't
pointed out,
say-
and who had
yeah,
kids.
her.
You know, what would Taylor Lorenz be saying if those
The
two
fucking
kids were in front
DEI
of her?
fucking
Maybe
hire.
she wouldn't be showboating like that.
These people aren't fucking representatives of Americans. I'm sorry, these people are terrible. Oh, we'll watch that later. The cause of autism. Oh yeah, this is what yeah. I was just talking about that. Demand release of Muhammad Khalil. No, you get the
Attorneys for student Moshe Madawi say he was arrested at a Vermont immigration office, the green card holder. He went there expecting to be interviewed about finalizing his U.S. citizenship. At the moment, his attorneys don't know where he is.
His arrest happening as demonstrators gathered in Lower Manhattan to demand the release of all pro-Palestinian student activists arrested in the last couple of months. Our Grace Gomez joining us now live in studio with more. Hi,
Well,
Grace.
the reason
Hi,
why
Corey.
the pro-Palestinian guys are getting arrested is because they keep fucking advocating for terrorists. I mean, all they have to not do is advocate for Hamas. They're fine. And then vandalize schools and then basically hold the building hostage. And then nobody can fucking go to class and blah blah blah. Like, well, what the fuck is this school institution for if they're not gonna fucking do their job?
Shirley, hundreds of people showed up this afternoon in Foley Square asking the Trump administration to stop separating families and to put an end on retaliation to those who have spoken up against the war in Gaza.
Today, a graduate student at Columbia University from the West Bank in Palestine, Mohsen Madawi, was literally abducted from his citizenship appointment.
Mohsen Mandawi, seen in this video, is in handcuffs and being escorted by federal agents. The Palestinian man who led protests against the war in Gaza as a student at Columbia University is now behind bars. He co-founded the Palestinian Union at Columbia with Mahmoud Khalil, another Palestinian permanent resident recently detained by ICE.
That's probably why.
One of us, you come for all.
That's probably why. He probably did some funding for Mahmoud Khalil. So he got caught with the affiliation.
Of us, and that we are demanding the release of Mahmoud and every other student activist that is being detained.
The Trump administration has argued that Mahmoud Khalil's anti-Israel views
maybe don't help
pose a threat
Hamas
to U.S. foreign
sympathizer.
policy interests. On Monday evening, Jewish Voice
I'm surprised the
Release
ACLU
organized an
was there.
emergency Passover Seder outside ICE headquarters in Lower Manhattan. The demonstration
people
followed
are
a court
fucking-
ruling last week that cleared
They're a
the
little
way
shady.
for the deportation of Khalil, a green card holder and legal permanent resident.
You've stood with Mahmoud,
But they
with
got the fuck
Lumaysa,
you
with
lawyer money.
Mohsen, as they faced abduction and detention.
The calls to preserve freedom of speech grew stronger from those in attendance.
This is unconstitutional. It's morally abhorrent that this administration is hunting down and kidnapping students.
And just because it's happening now to visa holders and green card holders, the distance to American citizens is not far from here.
While Mohsen Mandawi's lawyers, they say they don't know where he is, they have requested for him to be released, adding his detention is, quote, in direct retaliation for his advocacy on behalf of Palestinians.
All right, Grace, thank you for the update on that.
And
Oh, there you have it. What is this? Shark? Wait, is another VTuber graduating? Uh-oh. No. What do we got? Newscum signs a bill. Uh-oh. What do you got?
You're seeing healthcare numbers go through the roof, candidly, in this state as it relates to the number of people that are applying for healthcare benefits.
Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation to close a $2.8 billion gap in the state's budget for Medicaid services. The governor's move will ensure coverage through June for 15 million California residents who receive health care through the Medi-Cal program. It is part of the state's solution to the $6.2 billion deficit in the budget for Medicaid. This comes after California expanded coverage last year to provide free health care to all low-income adults, regardless of their immigration status.
So you were giving people who shouldn't be getting, well, I mean, I can understand certain people, but you were also giving them to very, very dangerous people too, weren't you? I don't think you did any vetting, did you, properly?
Approximately 2 million people living in the U.S. illegally live in California, according to the Pew Research Center. California now provides free healthcare to about a third of its 39 million residents. California has not confirmed how many people signed up with the expansion, but the state estimated 700,000 people were made eligible for health coverage with this change. The recent expansion has cost California $2.7 billion more than the state budgeted because the state underestimated the number of people who would sign up for services. Newsom said that scaling back who is covered to reduce cost is not on the table. California is also planning for possible budget hits via congressional Republicans' budget proposal. Fiscal hawks pushed through a plan that would cut $1.5 trillion in government spending, which Democrats have argued will lead to the slashing of Medicaid and Medicare services.
Slashed. Time for everyone to meet their fate. Drink that bleach. And everyone goes down to hell, yeah? I'm so sorry. Yeah, check this out. This was the man that was apparently a gang member.
Recently released security camera footage shows 2 federal agents tackle and arrest a Venezuelan man in a New Hampshire courthouse, knocking over a bystander in the process.
Oops.
Records show that Arnuel Marquez Colmenares is now being held at a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Texas. The Nashua Police Department says Marquez Colmenares was in court for his arraignment on misdemeanor charges related to drunk driving when he was apprehended. A courthouse officer who helped restrain the man said the agents told him they were working on orders to detain undocumented immigrants and that they tried to arrest the man quietly in the elevator, but he fled. One of the agents can be seen presenting a Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives badge when entering the courthouse and wearing an ATF sweatshirt. The ATF declined to comment on the case, and ICE has not responded to CNN's request for comment. CNN has been unable to determine if Marquez Colmenares has a lawyer.
Sorry. Innocent bystander got knocked down. I'll watch that one later. Don't call it a comeback. Filling out a bizarre post-presidency, Biden re-emerges on the public stage. Oh yeah, we'll watch that too. Yeah, that was insane. I didn't expect this fucking dumbass to come back out. Even though I was all like, I wonder where this dumbass is. She fucking finally shows his dumb face.
Who deserve help and paid for.
A few moments later.
Lunch Biden refers to colored kids in first speech. Colored kids. Yeah.
Hardly any black people.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, colored kids.
I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
What the are we doing out here? I asked you, what in the are we doing here?
Colored kids on a bus going by.
Colored kids, really? You fucking dumbass. Why did you open your fucking dumb mouth?
And what we are seeking now is disgorgement. We are recovering, obviously, his ill-gotten gains that inured to the benefit not only of Donald Trump, but his family and all of those who worked for the Trump organization. No one is above the law. And basically, we investigate all individuals. And no one is above the law. Regardless of who you are.
No one is above the law.
Regardless of your power.
Yep, she was. Yep, she was the one. I don't think I have this one yet. We'll re-get it. Because I think I lost it. We'll get it again. I think I could even find it on the fucking
Regardless
X
of who
now.
you are, regardless of your power,
regardless of
size,
your power,
influence, wealth, or station in life. One set of laws. And today, we send a strong and loud message that no one is above the law.
My message
No one
is
is
simple.
above the law.
No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law.
No one is above the law, right?
You think you may have. No one is above the law.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
The Angle has obtained shocking allegations leveled by the Trump administration against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
But this is another thing that they have vowed to crack down on because it costs real money. Your reaction to these allegations?
Well, obviously, the irony is perfectly crushing. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. This seems pretty straightforward. What the administration is saying is this was not her principal residence. In fact, as a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple.
No.
Let's book him.
No.
Whoa,
She's doing some tax evasion and fraud problem.
But I was looking for me all the time. It's the perfect crime. Yeah, tell it to the judge, Pinky.
What the fuck?
The Democrats, I say, be careful.
Man, that's like some fucking three-head shit. What the fuck? What? Why are you breaking the fucking law, you dumb bitch? Is this the end? Gargura? Yeah, this is the end for her. I'm just kidding. She probably has a fucking another account. Like that one person did. Look, all these people who cry about, oh no, I gotta end. No, I mean, some of these people can still fucking do the job. They're fucking liars. And some of them actually like have valid reasons why they have to stop. I don't know why I'm trying to defend VTubers. They're all fucking human beings and weird too. Always gotta put up a front and a mask. Has learned no lessons from 2024? Sideline and still processing her defeat. Oh yeah, what happened to her? Yeah, I haven't heard from her ever since. I mean, given when Trump had his inauguration and Wisconsin Dems rejected a visit from Kamala during state Supreme Court race as she plots come back. Kamala Harris consults Hillary Clinton as she plots next move. Oh man, we're gonna get chopped.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
Stupid. Crazy Bernie Sanders fans turn on him to interrupt his rally. Uh-oh. What happened to Bernie?
If you do not listen to her, your event will be down right now. Right now. Your decision. Make a decision now.
Dude, what just happened? Did they wait? What?
We are going to let you on the mic. Okay.
Wait, what happened?
Okay.
What just happened?
We're trying to be reasonable.
What the fuck is happening?
We're trying to be reasonable. We are trying to be reasonable.
We are reasonable.
We are
We're gonna let you on the mic. We are gonna give you the mic.
Let him speak.
We will after Senator.
No!
After Sanders. After Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders.
Do not tell me what
After
to do.
After Senator Sanders. Okay. All right.
Let her speak.
All right.
Let her speak.
All right.
What is happening? Holy fuck. Dude, what the? She is out of her mind. No way.
All right.
Let her speak.
All right. We're Okay. All right.
Let her speak.
Yo, women. Yo, women. Yo. Yo, what is that?
After Senator Sanders.
Do not tell me what to do.
Dude, well, why do you gotta do this ghetto weird shit? Oh man, women are cooked. See, this is why you don't. This is why you shouldn't have allowed them to vote. God damn.
Senator Sanders.
Dude, holy shit.
Sit down.
After.
Get down.
After.
Sit down. Sit down.
After Senator Sanders.
Sit down.
After Senator Sanders. Okay. All right.
Holy fuck. Oh man.
Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders.
We are respectable.
Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders. Senator Sanders. Senator Sanders. After Senator Sanders.
Oh, fuck. We are respectable. You need to tell this bitch to basically do.
All thou dost is talk, 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 but thou never listen. Can you hear me? Get thine ass back in the kitchen and make me some chicken. Don't test me, bitch.
Basically, she's testing you. Oh, fuck.
Sanders. After Senator Sanders.
God damn. Shit. Oh man. What a ghetto ass bitch. Yo, women, do you all act like this? No, it's probably all only the ratchet ass women. Fucking crusty, fucking ratchet. Oh, sorry. On to the next. LA passes motion in street takeover crackdown. Oh, so they finally do something about it.
Supervisors has just passed a proposal that would apply tougher penalties for people participating in illegal street takeovers.
Today's unanimous vote means the board supports the change, but they still need to vote to adopt the amendments. Rachel Medetov live in downtown LA with the latest. Rachel.
Micah Share, this is essentially a way to stop the street takeovers before they start, to impose a hefty fine on anyone involved, whether you decide to get behind the wheel of the car or are simply there to watch. Screeching tires, high-speed donuts. It's become a staple of LA's illegal street takeovers, which often draw large crowds of spectators and in some cases have had deadly consequences. But county officials are trying to curb the appeal and put a stop to the dangerous driving spectacles. In September, 3 cars attempting a takeover crashed into a Metro bus in the Vermont Vista neighborhood. Another time, a pickup truck lost control driving into a crowd in Gramercy Park. These are just a few examples of what Supervisor Holly Mitchell says are often weekly occurrences, especially in some of the county's unincorporated neighborhoods.
When I hear from seniors and others and young families who say, Supervisor Mitchell, every weekend, every Friday, every Saturday night, we hear it and we hear the sounds and it's coming closer and closer to our homes.
She's now leading the charge to double misdemeanor fines to $1,000 for people who organize, promote, and attend these kind of events. Her proposal prohibits the takeovers beyond public highways to include off-street parking areas. It goes after the promoters too, those people who are publicizing the takeovers on social media and who gain a large
wow,
following
they're actually
by
going
streaming
after
the
promoters
action
too.
live
Wow.
and collect a paycheck in return.
You know, I've covered so many street takeovers. Do you think this will really deter the appeal of the street
I am hoping it will. I know that there's not one singular solution, but I am really hoping that making you pay at a higher rate for participating, I hope that, along with our public education
so if you get
efforts,
caught,
for
you
people
get
to understand
fined.
the true danger they are causing their own family, friends, and neighbors and communities.
According to statistics from SAFE, streets are for everyone. The last quarter of 2024 saw a 64% increase in street takeovers, with some neighborhoods seeing multiple events in the same night.
And we can't continue to see these casualties, these injuries, these individuals continue to wreak havoc.
And within the hour, the vote passed 3-0. There were 2 board members who were not present. There is one more vote required to approve some amended language. That's the very latest from downtown LA. I'm Rachel Menitoff. Share Micah, back to you.
Sounds about right. We'll see if it does anything. Well, they still have to pass it, so we'll see. We'll see. Jennings destroys Harvard over $9 billion funding. Oh yeah. Did they? Yeah. Apparently, Trump has been trying to cut funding, federal funding to all these fucking schools that are the Ivy League schools that are just allowing all these fucking essentially pro-Hamas ideology, or well, pro-Hamas. I don't even know at this point. They say they're
as a political matter,
pro-Palestine, but I
to
mean
the
they're
American
advocating
people
for
right now, so,
Hamas
well,
people. So I don't know.
We're just not going to make it as a country unless we give $9 billion.
Not only that, but they're like holding up buildings
and
and
vandalizing
vandalizing buildings.
Don't misunderstand. I wish Harvard would actually work something out here. I do agree that these universities are important. They do important work. But I don't agree that we need to continue to fund people who won't listen to us.
There we go. Wow.
When we say
fucking
you have
Scott
problems, I would argue that it's
Scott Jennings is literally the only normal fucking person out of this whole panel. It's fucking mind-boggling. It's actually befuddling. I don't know why do they do this. I guess they love just fucking taking that gun and sticking it in their mouth.
a national security problem that these Ivy League colleges are turning out people who fundamentally hate Western civilization.
But you...
Yeah, baby.
There it is. Caroline Levitt. Good Maury. Okay. All right, let's do some cleanup on some of these. Oh yeah, this guy was sentenced back. What was this? 2023. 14 years without fine for 2018 murder. Yeah, so he did, thought they would. Johnny Miller has been sentenced to 14 years with no fine for the 2018 murder. Aaron Howard. Basically, this guy got all upset. This guy had an anger management problem about some bed at a trash can or some shit. And then you had these guys like protecting it or some shit. I don't know the whole story, but whatever the case, this guy got super fucking ragey and then tried to like attack them. He actually ended up throwing an object which hit one of the, I forgot who it hit, but it did hit one of them. And then that's when they pulled the trigger, or one of them pulled the trigger. And then there was a follow-up shot after because, well, that's just how it goes when you shoot once. Today's event, after 5 long days, the trial is officially over and the jury that found Johnny Miller guilty of murder officially sentenced him to those 14 years. Today's events in the courtroom include an emotional testimony from the victim, Aaron Howard's fiance, at the time, as well as his son. We were able to get a reaction from both legal teams about how they felt about the final result. Chief Prosecutor Dan Joyner said, "I think relief isn't the right word. I think there was some sense of closure. They wanted Johnny Miller to be held accountable, and not that he is. I think that they feel a little more at ease and a little more at peace than they did before this week started." While defense attorney Justin Sparks have focused on Michael Miller's verdict, we're extremely excited for Michael Miller and not the guilty verdict. And the not guilty verdict, sorry. We feel like the jury got it right. They heard all the evidence, not just a 2-minute clip. They had heard everything that previously happened that day and the months before, and they got it right that he's not guilty. Jesus, what the fuck? That fucking run-on sentence. The week-long... Sorry, sometimes I fucking notice that shit. Whatever. I'm sorry. The week-long trial saw 18 total witnesses between the two sides. Hours of interview video as well as cell phone footage of the shooting. According to the chief prosecutor Dan Joyner, that video was a key factor of their argument and helped secure at least one guilty verdict. It was helpful because it showed the interaction between Aaron Howard and Johnny Miller. Without the video, we only have people's recollection and perceptions, but that was the actual interaction. And I believe that it played a huge part in the guilty verdict for Johnny Miller. Friday was the quickest day throughout the trial, as sentencing arguments only took about 45 minutes before the jury was sent to deliberation. That deliberation lasted 3 hours before they gave Johnny Miller that 14-year sentence, which both sides was differing opinions on. Sparks told us that, of course, we feel it was guilty, that 5 is the appropriate number. While Joyner explained their reason behind that, behind why they were satisfied with the sentence, it's not lost on us that Johnny Miller is 72 years old, and so I think the jury took that into consideration as well. So 14 years for someone at his age is pretty stiff sentence. Yeah, he might die in prison, to be honest. Those 14 years. That'll put him at, what, 86? For someone at his age is pretty stiff sentence. What's important to us is that we wanted justice for Aaron Howard, and we believe this was justice. Although this trial is officially ended, Johnny Miller is expected to appeal. It is unclear when the appeal will happen. Jury has started deliberating the sentence for Johnny Miller. Trial this week of the shooting and death of Aaron Howard on September 1st of 2018. Yeah, if you want to go find that, find the incident, you can find it. It's pretty easy. Just basically type in this Johnny and Michael Miller incident or shooting or altercation. I don't know. Fucking word you want to put at the end of it. Oh yeah, here's from the great Thomas Sowell. ICE apprehends Venezuelan national attempting to flee a New Hampshire courthouse. Old guy is the real MVP. Oh, the man he ran into is okay. Apparently that guy like might have busted a hip. He was just like, oh, yeah, basically. They took out the fat grandpa's collateral, yeah. Yeah, this dumb. Remember this dumb bitch? Boom! Just get the fuck out. Boom! I bet she had some bad experience with the priest. Yeah, I bet. I bet he did absolutely nothing to her son. Jeez. 2019. Yeah, here it is. Brazilian priest shoved off stage. Woman cites panic and mental health struggles. São Paulo, Brazil. Brazil. July 14th, 2019. During a mass attended by 50,000 people at the Kanakawa Nova headquarters in Sao Paulo. 11 Russia to say push popular Catholic priest FR, I don't know what, Fra Marcelo Rossi, causing him to fall. The incident captured a woman who traveled from the town. 3-year-old son was detained by police. She claimed she was only wanted to speak to her, but panicked when she mistakenly thought security was chasing her, leading her to shove him. Wait, what? Really? He also cited bipolar disorder and mental health issues as factors. Oh. The mass minute later and chose not to press charges. The woman later stated the matter was between me and him. Okay, well, apparently she was off her rockers for some reason. It looked like she was happy about it, too. Weird. Oh, yeah, here's this. Trooper shoots and kills Michigan community leader who attacked an officer, crashed a stolen cruiser, and prayed over for 11 minutes during a multi-state chase. Video shows a Ohio trooper approaching Deshaun Leith, who had crashed his vehicle near the state line. Leith then attacked the trooper and steals his cruiser. He led police on a chase for 11 minutes while talking to himself. The chase ends when he crashed in North Sewickley, Beaver County. Pennsylvania State Police used legal intervention to stop the pursuit. The Beaver District Attorney is investigating, and involved troopers are on administrative duty.
Okay, let's see. Good help. All right, let's try to phone Jesus. Go ahead. Listen. Get down on the ground now. Lay down. I'm strong. I'm a Jesus lover. I'm a Jesus lover. I'm a Jesus lover. Now you did that was off the radio. Jesus rebuke the devil off the radio. Play that good gospel music.
The dude literally just attacked the police for some.
Thank you. Hey,
fucking Ohio.
God, I rebuke anything that get behind me. I rebuke anything that's in front of me, that's not a follower of Jesus, I tell him to get off the highway. I can catch my breath, Jesus. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
You know why I believe?
You know.
I got a mark on my face. You know why I believe? I got Jesus, baby.
I got Jesus.
The fuck out the way, kid, got Jesus. When I told him about us looking forward, it ain't no next
I got Jesus, baby. Oh shit.
It ain't no next way. It ain't no next way. Together. They didn't see no color. They didn't see no races. I swear to God, they didn't see no color. Thank you for the name of Jesus. Thank you for the name of Jesus. Thank you for the name of Jesus. Thank you for the name of Jesus.
What the is this dude? What is... Dude is cracked out. Jesus said he was done stealing police cars. He just wanted his seat back. Yeah, dude. Now it was just like this shit. Oh my god.
That's Jesus, bitch!
That's Jesus, bitch! And then he keeps fighting the cop. I'm surprised the cop didn't jump on him. Yeah, that was dumb for the cop not to jump on him. And he just allowed the dude to get back up and then attack him. That was so Apparently this guy doesn't... Yeah, I feel bad for this. Apparently, I guess this cop doesn't know how to fight. He could try and take him down. I don't know. I guess he's... No, type for the dude fucking with the knife, yeah. Yeah, I remember that guy. That guy was insane. Alright, as usual. Crazy people. In honor of 4chan being killed, post your favorite green text. So apparently 4chan got killed. Alien that has an IQ of like 50,000. First thing he does when he wakes up is going on a Hulk rampage like a... What was his fucking problem? I don't know. 4chan gets fucked and had a .gov Jennings. Old 8chan users right now after having government shut them down. Wait, so apparently they had there was a Fed poster or some shit, or someone using their school email or some shit. A few hours ago, 4chan got taken down by rival image board hacking group. Muds dogs proving some were federal agents, and the servers are all offline. Ah, ha, ha. So some might be Fed posters. Who know? Who knows? Server implodes. Its user base becomes nomads. The internet becomes noticeably worse. 2025, 4chan implodes. Oh, apparently 4chan got fucked. Like a dumb fucking... Fucking gross anime figs. I'm sorry. All they do is cry and bitch and moan. And then they get stolen from. What is this? Trump admin. Decided to unleash Stephen Miller on the media. Oh, what did he say?
Gentlemen, the return, guys, do you know the difference between a deportation order and a withholding order? Do you know the difference? Any of you, please. Do you? Well, we're not in the government. But
no, we're not in the
government.
government.
You couldn't even spend 72 hours over the weekend learning the distinction, even been writing and talking about it this whole time.
Steven, we're not going anywhere.
Please.
On the gold cards.
Just raise your hand. Does any of you know the difference between a deportation order and a withholding order?
How do you know? The White House has repeatedly said, according to intelligence.
By the way, according with our government and his government. In other words, his government has confirmed based on their own intelligence that he's a member of MS-13. First of all, do you dispute that he's an illegal alien?
What's that?
Do you dispute that he's an illegal alien?
No.
Okay. And do you dispute that as an illegal alien, we have the right to deport him?
He's going through
He went through the legal process. So I want to be very. What I'm getting from this conversation, which is educational for me, is that not one person in the media knows the difference between a deportation order and a withholding order. Is that a fair statement? You're learning about this all for the first time right now? I guess so. Okay. So the deportation order means the judge has said he must be deported from the country. He has no right to remain here any longer. He must be removed from the country. So his only options are to be deported to his home country or another country. That's it. There's no other option. He doesn't get to stay here. He doesn't get to live here. He has no future here. He has no right to be here. He's an illegal alien. So when you keep saying return, because you've been spun up by the open borders advocates, you all seem to be operating under the illusion that he would be able to come to the United States and just continue to live here illegally. That's not an option available to him. His only choices in life are to live in El Salvador or to live in another country. That's it. There's no other option, legally or otherwise, because he came to our country illegally. Do you understand that?
Stephen, can I ask, as a matter of policy, does
Do you understand it?
that immigration
Get
judges,
the
because they're
fuck
under
out.
DOJ, that their orders can be overruled by what the administration wants? Is that a general matter of
They don't
policy?
fucking
Well, actually,
belong.
so specifically, is the Attorney General has authority.
They broke
to
the
overrule
rules. Get the fuck
So that's
out.
actually by statute. Yes. Other questions.
Stephen, on the gold card, the President and Secretary Lutnick have suggested they're lining up applicants already. How many people do you expect to be tagged to this program when the President announces it this week, if he actually announces it this week?
I'll let Secretary Lutnick provide that update, but I appreciate that.
White House administration is going to report 1 million undocumented people.
Much more than that. Much more.
Stephen, also of the 10 alleged gang members that Secretary Rubio said were sent to El Salvador over the weekend, what sort of due process did they get as mandated by the Supreme Court?
Well, you're talking about the alien enemies?
Yes, the alien.
So first of all, a number of those are MS-13. So again, those are just standard removals of El Salvadorians to El Salvador. And without,
what evidence did you provide that they were MS-13?
Okay, so we seem to be confused about this. Illegal aliens from El Salvador, again, get deported to El Salvador. Do you all appreciate that like tens of thousands of El Salvadorians have been deported to El Salvador? You seem to be under the impression that El Salvadorians living in our country illegally just get to stay here. They don't. They get arrested and deported. Then the fact that they're MS-13 just puts an extra priority on our deporting them. But we would deport someone to El Salvador regardless of whether or not they were MS-13 if they were here illegally. That's just an extra, because of the priority on public safety threats, we're emphasizing the removals of gang members, in this case, foreign terrorist organization gang members. But as to your other question, they went through all of the due process, as you would call it, that is required by law. So what I find so mystifying is that I've been talking to you all for a very long time. I legitimately, going back years actually, in my entire professional life, I've never received this many questions from the media about an American who was raped or murdered by an illegal alien. Like, legitimately never. And all of you who are enjoying your lives and doing quite well, if you had children and you were living near any of these people, you would move away immediately. You would call the police immediately. You would call us and ask us to make you and your family safer immediately. And you thank your lucky stars every night that you have enough means and enough money not to live in communities where,
he's
say,
just
illegal
fucking chewing them out.
offend and reoffend and keep reoffending and keep reoffending. There's an expression there, but for the grace of God go I. The Biden administration apprehended 2 illegal aliens from Venezuela. They were trained to Aragua. A lot more than 2, but I'm telling you 2. And they decided they were entitled to an enormous amount of due process. And they didn't feel they had enough evidence to just deport them right away. So they put them on a monitoring system known as supervised release. You're familiar with this case. But a few weeks later, they kidnapped a young girl named Jocelyn Nungary, who was 12 years old at the time. I'm sure you've seen pictures of her. I mean, just the most perfect girl you could possibly imagine. And her mother loved her very much. She was tied up, savagely beaten, stripped naked, tortured to death, murdered. Her body was dumped into a lake. So she didn't get any due process, but I'll tell you who did are the two illegal aliens from Venezuela who stole her forever. And there's stories like that all over the country. We just arrested a pedophile illegal alien who is being shielded by Sanctuary City, who's been charged in 20 sex crimes against children. None of you, any of you have had the chance to spend time with victims' families whose children have been raped or whose wives have been raped and murdered. But if that doesn't break your heart, nothing will. And I know that we have some people, like Taylor Lawrence, who fantasize about assassinations and things like that. But in the civilized society, the power of the state is used to keep innocent people alive and to keep innocent women and children from being hurt. This administration is never going to apologize for using the power of the state to keep men, women, and children from being savagely murdered and beaten. If we release known and suspected MS-13 and trained Aragua, and then there's another Jocelyn Nungary, then whose responsibility is that going to be? Do you think that we're going to sit around wringing our hands?
Yeah, it's very strange that these guys keep asking the same
question. This person, give them a little bit of extra time.
And don't think that these people that they keep fucking talking about are literally planning their fucking way to fucking fuck you up.
They're here illegally. The only place that they deserve to go is to some country other than our country.
Coming into this country to fuck you up.
And it's not a statistic. These are real lives. These are real families.
You guys are just like, oh, but we want to save them.
Neighborhoods in Los Angeles.
What the fuck are you talking
by
about?
Illegal alien Mexican street gangs. Entire neighborhoods where you have to live in fear because of individuals here illegally engaged in extortion and crime. Not to mention the fentanyl. You have cartels that have functional control over the entire northern territory in Mexico.
Oh yeah, he didn't even. I wonder if he talked about the northern border.
With this chemical, children are ending up dead. They're going out to a weekend party. They think they're taking something safe, and they get a heart attack and they die by the thousands. So we're not going to apologize for doing something about that. And I just wish we lived in a country where the media gave 1/10 a damn as much about Americans who were murdered and brutalized and savagely killed, beaten to death, as they did about whether illegal aliens that we all agree are illegal aliens should get 1 million days in court and 1 million trials and 1 million this and 1 million that. There's 15 million illegal aliens that violently enter the country. If every one of them got the trial that you're asking for, it would take us centuries to remove them. Centuries. We've been talking about this in 300-400 years. Their great-great-great-grandchildren would be the ones representing them in court. That's how long it would take. Illegal aliens who come to our country have to be removed, and they have to be removed quickly, and that is an essential component of having something that we like to call a country.
Stephen, on the matter of visa restrictions, the president on his first day, the president on his first day in office signed an executive order calling on his administration, the Department of Homeland Security, State Department, DNI, to come up with a list of countries that did meet the United States' vetting standards and to potentially put full or partial visa restrictions on those countries. I just want to know what is the status of that report that was due to the administration last month? Do you have a list yet of countries?
So, the State Department has done the work that you're describing. It's currently going through the standard review process. I don't have any update beyond that, but I mean you're correct in your statement that this was a product that was called for at the beginning of the administration, and it's being worked on, and hope to have a further update for you soon. Last question.
If I may, President Trump continues to say that one of the best arguments for sending undocumented criminals to El Salvador is cost. When it comes to this White House considering sending U.S. citizens to El Salvador because of being criminals, is that the same argument, cost?
So the El Salvadorian deportation program is for illegal aliens, but I would also say that on the cost point, what we're referring to is the fact that long-term incarceration in the United States, probably costs like 100x what it costs to send somebody to El Salvador. So that's in other words, if an illegal alien commits a crime in this country and then has to go into our judicial and penal system. I don't know the exact numbers, and I'm assuming it's probably like 100x cost. But I'll just close by saying the amount of lives that we've saved since we showed up by shutting down the border, since President Trump issued his executive orders and began deporting criminals, is already in the thousands. And by the way, we've been out looking for the 500,000 children that Biden trafficked into this country. The stories we've already uncovered of sex trafficking and labor trafficking and child abuse is beyond imagination. 500,000 minors were smuggled into this country under the last administration, and the administration not only didn't do anything to prevent it, in every way they funded it, subsidized it, facilitated it, supported it, contributed to it, that if any American citizen did these things, they'd be in jail for life. Thank you.
Uh-oh. He's going in.
Turn, guy.
Oh, fucking Stephen Miller. Just crushing it. Just calling out those idiots. Telling them they're retards. Telling them, hey, stop asking the same fucking question and actually fucking look it up. The evil judge deserves to spend the rest of her life in prison for what she did today. Yeah, apparently she's the one that let the kid out. They are all in on it. Harley Pasternak is allegedly the mastermind behind their massive Hollywood mind control operation. Harley Pasternak was historically threatened has historically threatened several celebrities with institutionalization whenever they began to behave outside of his control, including Britney Spears, Mac Miller, Kanye West, and Aaron Carter. Oh shit. Interesting. The latter of which died not long after. Oh, Aaron Carter? His actions seem tyrannical, almost as if he's part of some sort of control or handler system for celebrities. Probably because of how much money that flows through it, because of the celebrities. Harley Pasternak has a background with the Canadian Special Forces and a specific company involved in the funding of a CIA mind control program called MK Ultra. No, stop. Oh, you can't. It can logically be presumed that Harley Pasternak uses these means, drugs, extortation, manipulation, coercion, as a method to keep his clients or handlers under control. The Mac Miller, Aaron Carter, Kanye West, Amy Winehouse, and stop. Yeah, I'm still wondering why they fucking took down the bond. The only thing I can think of why they right, was either because the judge has some kind of bias, or they're going after off the presumption that this is like his first offense or some shit. I don't know. Seems a little strange. Best definition of intelligence is the ability to predict the future. Yeah, I saw this. NVIDIA manufacturing American-made AI supercomputers in the U.S. They're moving their production facilities over here, apparently. Dominguez. Jason Dominguez with the base clearing level. Baseball. Gross. Scott Jennings. Chris Van Hollen says he'll travel to El Salvador to fight for Kilmore Abrego Garcias if he's not back in the U.S. by midweek. I mean, you're gonna have to go to the El Salvadorian president. Go through their legal system and try to help them, right? Yeah, apparently he's an MS. Yeah, he's gonna be fighting for an MS-13 gang member too. Apparently, so take that in mind. Oh yeah, we just saw that already. Nobody seems to worry about Maryland mother Rachel Morin, who was murdered by someone that previous administration let out of jail. They always do that shit. Media is panicking about deported Maryland man, but not about Maryland mother Rachel Morin. Oh wow, even the great Thomas Sowell time.
You know.
LBG. Does not hold back. He's not going to be allowed to come back to, and live in this country as though he is a U.S. and he is not.
It was an error and it wasn't a mistake. Look, so this, I think you're speaking about their public view of the case.
I'm telling you that their view of it is that public. It's an El Salvador citizen who was sent back to El Salvador, who was in the country illegally, who, according to some people in his long process, which does include an existing deportation order, believes that he has an affiliation with MS-13. As I said, there's no version of this man's life where he comes back. And let me say one more thing. The people that want him brought back need to understand something. If the president of El Salvador releases him, and we do facilitate his return, when he lands in this country, one of two things will happen. He will be arrested, and then he'll either be sent back to El Salvador, where he is now, or some other country that I promise you don't want to go to. He's not going to be allowed to come back and live in this country as though he is a U.S. citizen.
That's literally the definition of tyranny, right? So here's what's going to happen. We're going to throw him in jail. No, there's a thing called the rule of law and due process, which has not been followed in this case. And if I have a slightly optimistic take on this, I actually think this is going to come back to bite the Trump administration. Because what's going to happen is the next time this goes up the court system, they have absolutely zero credibility to say, don't worry, you can file a habeas petition, you can get your person back. The courts are not going to allow this to happen. And the idea that the Trump administration has the right of fiat to just decide to ship somebody off to another country that is fundamentally opposed to everything.
Oh wait, we're talking about that other guy. Well, you have to go through the El Salvador president.
He has a deportation order.
But then why didn't they make that argument?
Withholding of his removal order, so he was in the country a bit temporarily.
Why did he have a withholding?
Because an immigration judge ruled that.
But why? What was the argument? Because he was fearful of a gang that hasn't existed in El Salvador for 4 years. There's more of that gang in Los Angeles than there is in El Salvador.
That's not for us to decide. That's the immigration judge who decides that.
Can I just tell everyone something right now?
That's not for us to decide. Wow. Gotta love these journalists who love talking a lot of game, yet they're advocating for illegal activity to continue to happen. Gotta love news outlets. He's just a Maryland father. Tell that to Kaylee Hamilton's father. Oh yeah, this one. Illegal. 2 years ago, she was R-word and killed by a man in Maryland who was an illegal MS-13 member from El Salvador. Oh no. Nashville, an illegal raped an 11-year-old girl. Well, this is by Riley Gaines too, by the way. He gave birth to his baby at 12. Notice his inmate information lists him as white. Wow. This is the Maryland man. This is the illegal alien from El Salvador. When Rachel Morin, an actual Maryland mother, was killed by an illegal gang member, the only thing Chris Van Hollen did was give a statement to a news outlet. But when an illegal from El Salvador gets deported, he's ready to fly down there to free his constituent. There you have it. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen says he is flying to El Salvador to secure the release of an illegal immigrant. An MS-13 gang member, Kilmar Abrigo Garcia. Yeah, kidnapped. Yeah, right. Fuck off. I hope you get fucking got by the El Salvadorian president. Who's this, Yagoo? Oh. Ah! I mean, she's gonna be fine, to be honest. I think people who are freaking out knew this was... I mean, I already knew this was gonna happen. Fucking, yeah, look, businesses is business. Yeah, if you don't comply with the rules of the business, well, you're gonna get chopped. Go do something else. Go be an indie. You have the means to be an indie, don't you? You fat cow. You made so much money off people. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you crying? What the fuck? You have so much support from people. All these people do. It makes no sense when they do that kind of shit. It's a fucking job. Get with the program. Stunted human beings. Jesus fuck. I'm being fucking toxic. I mean, that's what happens when you fucking live your life as a fucking NEET. You're gonna get someone who's gonna be fucking super toxic. As a black man, I don't approve of this black people cheering on the death of Austin Metcalf, because of his skin color. Austin was more than just a white boy. He was someone's son, friend, nephew, and brother. He was a human, and he should still be alive. Both these POSs are being used as pawns by Democrats, just like George Floyd was, correct. This is a typical Democrat strategy. The more we hate each other, the easier we are to control. Well, I mean, yeah, obviously. What else are they? I mean, they're always going to do this, though. I mean, you just have too many people in political positions and companies who want this. The VTuber companies. Just kidding. Oh, sorry, shit just happened in the VTuber world, so I keep bringing up VTuber shit. My bad. Anyways, no, look, this is an easy way for people to make money, right? You saw that fucking lawyer, right? This lawyer, he's making fat money off this. No. God damn it. It was too good. Fuck. I think I spelled Carmel. Wow. Yeah. They're buying a new home. They have to capitalize on their son's windfall. Yeah, apparently they bought him and they bought the new home, and they got to beef up security because they think he's gonna be a target now. Some shit. I don't know. Tucker Carlson. You're gonna try to George Floyd this piece of shit? Probably. People already. I don't want to associate or live around people who support this family or send them money. I believe Austin Metcalf family should sue them. I don't want to be around people who supported George Floyd or O.J. Simpson. Well, there you have it. George Floyd OD'd on fentanyl, multiple funerals, one of them televised with a gold casket. Carmelo Anthony. Oh, it's 1L. Murdered someone, confessed. Oh, home with the $500,000. Why wouldn't blacks all over America think they can do whatever? Whatever. Yeah, this does set a bad, right? Set a bad precedent, right? It's not good that people fucking keep doing this. Right? Because now it's just like, oh, you're just allowing these guys to cause criminal activity, and then you're gonna have an outpouring of activist support trying to, right, change the narrative. It's pretty gross. Pretty gross. Obviously, his heroic self-defenders like Martin Luther King and George Floyd. Fucking home math is even getting into it. He's gonna get pushed, isn't he? Boom! Yeah, in the back of the head attack. Damn, dude. What the fuck?
What do you do?
Just attack the dude for no reason. Fuck up. Anyways. Yeah, that's basically like fucking Carmelo Anthony. Unhinged attack to fucking Metcalf. President Bukel also just issue a challenge to Trump. You have 350 million people to liberate. This is what a photo of. It was a mission briefing. Also, Nayib Bukele looked President Trump dead in the eye and said, "You, yeah." I mean, he said a lot of shit during that fucking press meeting. It was funny. I mean, he's a pretty down to earth guy, and he had. I mean, look, he had to fucking. He kind of has balls of steel since he fucking locked up all those goddamn fucking gang members and gang leaders. Just fucking, we're going straight to jail with you. And then he names himself Philosopher King. He loves playing into the memes. Abolish the IRS. Is funding by money printing. Well, I mean, it's obviously. Look, he knows what's up. Even I mean, well, like a lot of people. I basically 20% know that the fucking Federal Reserve just goes burr with money. I mean, just look at look at our fucking debt. Or what, 37 trillion in debt? And then we have more deficits all in different states and shit. It's like, come on, dude. Be real. That money printer go burr. Let's be real. That shit goes burr. Alright, on to the next. We should rethink the meaning of white privilege after the killing of Austin Metcalf by Carmelo Anthony. As a father of two boys, this case fills me with rage and sadness. SKAS cartoon getting in on it. Check your white privilege. Check your white privilege. Check your white. There's a fucking LGBTQ fucking. Got the white power Black Panther shit going. Feminists, and then you have Carmelo Anthony, and then I guess whoever is helping him get money to buy a new house and everything. Black male, 6.5% U.S. population. 94% can't read proficiently at 18. 63% don't work full time. 72% illegitimacy rate. 33% are convicted felons. 50% of male prison population. Commit 60% of murders. But white people, racism, and guns are the problem. What's it? Alan says the quiet part out regarding the Carmelo Anthony case. If the racial factors were reversed, if a white man had killed an unarmed black man, everybody would be on the reverse side of this. Damn.
This is all about who the jury is. This will all be determined by the jury. If the racial factors were reversed, if a white man had killed an unarmed black man, everybody would be on the reverse side of this. We live in a society where everything is judged by race. You know, the Bible says to judges and prosecutors, don't recognize people, just do abstract justice. We're way, way, way beyond that. If the racial elements were reversed there, virtually all the people who are calling for him to be acquitted would be calling for him to be convicted, and vice versa. Let's not kid ourselves. We live in a race-conscious society, and jury selection, which of course your other guest.
Oh yeah, they're jury
so
selection.
well
they're hoping
in the
for
Zimmerman
black
case
people,
is
right?
determine the
To
outcome
have
of this
black
case,
jurors.
without a doubt. This is all about who the jury is. This was all.
There's a thing called confirmation bias. Right? There's things called biases. Well, there are certain biases for people who just look at their own skin color. Yeah, that judge. I don't know what that judge. That judge is the judge is suspicious.
And I had never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time and I was only going in 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
Colored kids. No, not the colored kids one, man. Oh yeah. Trump holds Commander-in-Chief trophy presentation to Navy midshipmen at the White House. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna watch this, to be honest. This is just basically supporting the troops, right? Supporting our service members. Or doing some kind of trophy for them or something. Probably a dinner as well. Or some kind of luncheon. If you want to watch it, go ahead. I just thought I'd bring it up because it happened today. Yeah, and then we got. So we got Biden. We got her, Karen Levitt. And Biden. And then. Oh yeah, but it was apparently JD Vance got some shit happened with JD Vance.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Savia for Explain America, and JD Vance. Oh boy, this was rough. Before we get started, if you're not already there,
oh, I forgot
please
to
check us at
fucking
youtube.com/.
I forgot to tag up the
where you
Twitter
can
X
like,
shit.
comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe, absolutely free. JD Vance is an Ohio State football fan. I think we all know this. He's talked about it quite extensively, and why not? He was a senator from Ohio. It's his home state, well, kind of his home state. It's his adopted home state. And he loves it, and he loves Ohio State football. Me, I'm not much of a college football fan. I know that probably is at odds with a lot of you. But it always frustrates me because I always think if I get into college football and I like a certain player, and what if they get drafted to a team I don't like?
I mean, yeah,
I'm a
that
New York
happened.
Giants and Miami Dolphins fan, so the list of teams I don't like, I'm not going to get into it here with you. I don't really hate any teams, though. That's different about me, I think, than other fans. I don't really hate a lot of teams. I just like my team or teams.
Hey, look, when you're doing like fantasy football or any of those things, I mean, you're just looking at players at that point.
If I had to pick one, it would be the Giants before you ask. So JD Vance takes the trophy, the championship trophy that Ohio State won, and proceeds to break it accidentally, but it was a hilarious moment. Now he goes on X later on that same night, and he explains in a humorous way, he's making a quip here. He says he broke the trophy intentionally because he doesn't want anybody else to win it after Ohio State.
No way.
So I thought that was funny.
You broke the
Democrats tried to
Ohio
make fun of
State
him,
trophy?
but come on. These things, Joe Biden couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without help. You're going to make fun of this guy for accidentally breaking a trophy? It was, and you watch the video, you'll see how he did it. It wasn't like intentional. He didn't drop it.
What?
Take a look at this and let me know what you think in the comments.
Shouldn't have grabbed it.
All right.
There's a reason why
really
it was
gifts,
on a
we're gonna have our
stand and it
captains
was
give
right.
Mr. President, Mr. Vice President.
Oh, there it is. That's a nice helmet.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah.
That's a nice helmet. To the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. I don't know the rest of the fucking word of the world. Oh, he broke it. Oh, there it is. Oh, shit. Yeah, just put it back. You broke it, bro. It was in the stand and you broke it. Whoops. Brother. Oh, man. You done goofed. No doubt the dying legacy will try to make this into a constitutional crisis. He broke the statue. It's a constitutional crisis. Oh my god. Get him.